I've run a software development company for the past 3 years, and I have recorded for the better part of last year. Today's Christmas Eve, and I'm just going to do a little small update on some reflections that I've been having, and kind of where my work is at and where I'm headed and things like that. So, where I stand right now, just today, I have basically I spent some time with family, spent like helping around with just home things, and then I went for a little walk. That was honestly really nice. I'm in rural Portugal, in the middle of nowhere, essentially in the countryside, and I come here like just for Christmas. And it's like a 2-3 day thing. It's very short, but I always find it extremely nice to just get essentially cut off, like go completely remote, go completely off the grid, and just have time to my think, time to myself. Sorry, and I picked up this book, 438 Days, which is a survival story about this guy. Like it's a real story. This fisherman off the coast of Mexico, who got swept out to sea, and I haven't finished the book, but I am loving it. And it triggered some really interesting reflections, because I think the guy who's portrayed as this character, I realized that like there are a lot of things in him that I admire and want in myself as well. And the contexts are completely different. You know, he was living in this fishing village with 200 people. It's a microcosm. Like he lived in his own universe. And but you know, there's so many characteristics which I observe in his, as I read the book, and I realize that I want more of these in myself. And I have grown in a lot of ways and like become extremely competent at certain things, but still extremely incompetent at other things. And I've realized like part of my reflections are that, including that I want to serve more. I think like social media has got us incredibly caught up in ourselves and the status games, and I understand everybody has to play status games. We're humans. We live in a society of other humans, and so what other people think of us forms a big part of our life. There's this whole thing which is like, don't care what other people think, which is kind of true, but also kind of not, which is you need to care what some other people think, because that determines a lot of things. But I think it's social media has this, like, look at what the next guy has. Look at what he has. Look at how nice his watch is. Look at how nice his house is. How his car, his this, his that. Um, and it got us like so caught up in, I don't know. I think this book was grounding because like this character is basically this. I mean, it's a nonfiction, so it's this guy, this real guy. It's just the way he's portrayed in the book. Like, it's this guy who's just he helps out his community. He doesn't ask for much, but he serves. He like serves his community as much as he can. He's a really competent sailor and seaman, essentially a fisherman. And I don't know. I think like there's no glory in giving it all to yourself. Like, it's extremely vain. And there's something that I really don't enjoy about that. And I think a lot of online entrepreneurs fall into this trap. It's all about how much money, you can make for yourself. And people are like, no, but I make this take home. Like I bring it home for myself. And I don't know. I think like I don't want to take pride in that. I want to take pride in the change that I'm able to affect in other people's lives, both my clients and my employees. Not just about like, I want to be able to, like, one of my employees is actually his first ever job is with me. And he never had an opportunity. And that's honestly one of the proudest and happiest things that I've done. And like, I'm realizing, I think a big part of that, it's like, I want to do more of these things. I want to focus on serving my people better. Any communities that I'm a part of, how can I've spoken about this in other videos, like how you can get a lot through in-person relationships, but I'm realizing like it's really like I want to focus on serving more next year, serving my community and my people as much as I can. Um, and when I say my community and my people, that's pretty broad. It's my clients, it's my team, it's my family, it's my friends. It's trying to think more of them. And I think sometimes I get so caught up. Like I'm pretty good at solving problems. Like um, I can get focused, but like it's sometimes the small little things that aren't really problems, like these are the things which I want to do more of, like the little gifts, the little I've mentioned this in other videos, but I've been practicing my handwriting. It's not just practicing, I've been learning a new type of handwriting to make it prettier, to write better cards. And I want to do more of these kinds of things, even if they're small. I think they make a massive impact, not just in like for me, but also for other people. I think I want to do more of these things, be more thoughtful as a person, and I think this will overall create a positive impact on the business. Um, and I want business to be a vehicle that through which I can serve, and I can compound. I think that's extraordinarily powerful. Like I think I'm really happy with where I am in terms of a position, because I think a business is an excellent vehicle, because it's this platform which you can scale, which is different from like a job and things like that. Like I am in control of how to take it, and that's, I think, a really good place to start. Um, yeah. Other than that, I think I like right now. I just I need to reply to some client stuff. Also, I'm excited about next year because I'm starting to get an idea of the kinds of the next steps that I need to take, and I think they're pretty on the right path. They're mainly focused around volume. I need to take more of the same actions. I think that's been a big limitation of my own sometimes. Like I need to take more steps. I just need to do more. I don't need to do different things. I just need to do more of the same thing over and over and over again. And actually, if there's anything like these videos have taught me, that it's just you don't need extraordinary action. You just need simple action done repeatedly again and again and again and again. And the the other part that I'm like kind of focusing on next year is dialing in on ICP. So getting really clear about who we serve. This is something that historically I don't think I've been narrow enough about, and I've struggled to narrow it down for good reason. It's hard. It's not easy. But I started this agency knowing what to sell, because I had this skill, which is like I can develop stuff, I can code, and so I'm just going to throw this out there and see who bites. And the problem was I never really stopped to consider who I sell it to. And this is something that I've included in any of my videos about like how to start an agency. It's like, think about who you sell it to, because I didn't, or at least not enough. And I have an idea of my client type and stuff, and I have a little bit of a niche, but I need to get more specific on it. And I want to get more specific about the problem that we solve and things like that. And I need to get a little bit more in the weeds with this kind of stuff, like more, working on this kind of thing. I think since it was about mid-October when my last client, like I got off client fulfillment really. And then there was a lot of kind of setting up and figuring things out and having conversations between then and now. So that was about 2 months of just discovery and probing, and also just setting up conversations, like figuring out what people want and things like that. And I got a good base of like social connections in London, so that was really good. And now I think I just need to apply. I need to get serious about applying some of the things that I've looked into. And one of the most promising things right now, I have a client and he has a problem, and I want to help him solve it. We've helped him do a little bit of that in the past. I want to really dial in on it. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I just need to sit down and do the work, do the really boring work that I'm really not looking forward to it. But I think another thing that's really helpful is like, I think if you focus on who you serve, that motivation is like, it's much more longer lasting than doing everything for yourself, because at some point you will realize that you have enough. Actually, I think most people already have enough. Like you have enough in front of you. If you're able to survive and do something, like you probably have more than enough. You don't need that much more. And I think that it's I don't know. I think this motivation to serve others is more powerful, at least in my opinion. Like to it's much more exciting, I think, to be able to create that change for other people. At least for me, I find it really gratifying. Um, and so I think those are the main things. It's just more volume, more work, of doing the right things and focusing on growing the business. And I'm really lucky, like with my team, I'm really, really happy with that infrastructure that I have to take care of client servicing and deals. And yeah, it's just taking one foot in front of the other and keeping it moving. Um, yeah, so over the next few days, I don't have much more time than a few hours of focused work, but I think that's enough to get a lot done. So I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna be working for another about hour or so, and then I'm gonna spend some time with my family, because we have a little Christmas Eve thing. So that's gonna be it for the time being.